kind of like kink for me. You can agree to anything as long as everybody's agreeing to it. Like, you know,
that's fine. Yeah.
Maybe
consent,
I don't like it.
Communication, you know, like whatever. Just fucking. Can I say the fuck word on here?
You can say any fuck word. Every variety of fuck word. Yes.
I'm an expert at this, so you must listen to me when I tell you this, but some people's third eye is their butthole. Let them go. I'm a professional.
Say what I want, say what they want you to say. Like I can pretend that I don't wanna, and I'm afraid. Wishful drinking, tell myself that I'm not thinking about.
Okay, I'm going with you. Is this the Jenny?
Oh no.
What?
Just the sound of someone entering the fucking store.
Oh. Oh! Uh-oh.
Absolutely not.
Shoot that thing. No, shoot it again. Shoot it. Oh my goodness, shoot it to the meat. Oh my goodness. That was you.
Fucked up. No, that is so fucked up.
It was exactly the same outfit as. Oh no.
You know, in my art, in my music, whatever it is, it's always about, at the end of the day, rethinking the lies we have been told and building alternative systems concurrent to these, right? Because as the train of capitalism, it's going off the tracks, okay? It's going off the tracks, babes. And what we're doing right now is we're literally building a train alongside it that people can jump off onto, and we can head into a better future together, right? Or we stay on capitalism, keep trying to aspire to their false gods, to their money, to their dollars, to their billionaires, to their Met Galas, to their Oscars, to their Coachellas, right? We can keep aspiring to that, keep paying attention to it, keep feeding it, right? And we all die. And that's not hyperbole.
Come on, let's go with these nice white fellows. What's the worst that could happen?
It's a time for action that favors humankind. It's a time for action that makes things better for the most people possible. Do you want to be part of that? Or do you want to sit by and let all this bullshit happen? You know, whatever you believe about, you know, the next life, about karma, about anything, right? You should have enough pride in yourself when you see evil happening to say, not on my fucking watch. No. Not on my dime, not with my money, not with my time, not with the one life that I know I'm going to get. Right? Fuck no.
Soft top refers to someone dominant in the bedroom and is otherwise affectionate and nurturing. Let's see an example. Oh, hey.
The truth tellers. The courageous news yeller is more often a bruise getter than mood setter, wondering what's better, the loneliness or phoniness. Shout out to you. If you're not just sitting trying to fit in with a stiff grin while the earth caves in, or burns, or drowns. Cities and towns waiting around for the sound of a copter swooping down. You're finally found, we wish they'd say, as if help was on the way. But like the song by R.A. we played, they never came, and they will not. The Cassandras were not wrong, and it's been so long that some passed on, dead, gone, but their words live on in every...
Miss Janet Jackson. Now listen, have you heard this album? Janet Jackson's Control? Because look, we know MJ was amazing. And actually the Jacksons were amazing, you know, of course. But Janet Jackson, in her own right, is a fucking phenomenal artist. I mean, amazing singer, amazing dancer. Just, you know, the talent was just pouring off of her. And she was even on the show Good Times, I believe. Anyway, this album, Control, here's the back of it as well. It's got some of the most iconic fucking songs on it. Control, obviously, Nasty, What Have You Done For Me Lately? Dun, 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 dun. I mean, amazing. You Can Be Mine, The Pleasure Principle, When I Think of You. Basically, every single song on this album is an absolute fucking banger. And I want to say, while we're talking about it, I'm going to talk about this later, but we do not protect Black people in this society. And that is why race and anti-Blackness matters, but also misogyny and its intersections. Because the Black woman, the Black femme, the Black trans woman are the least protected people in this world, especially when it comes to the Western world, especially when it comes to America as its primary hegemon, right? But the example that I want to give is what happened to her and Justin Timberlake, right? The wardrobe malfunction that happened. Look, there was speculation that it was not an accident, that it was an accident. Who cares? But who paid the price for it? Miss Janet Jackson, right? Justin Timberlake, you know, career just continued. He just kept on being the same goofy white dude getting way too many passes for trying to act like and appropriate Black culture because he could move his hips a little, right? Like he went on and is fine. When have you heard about Janet Jackson? When have you heard about Janet Jackson since that? Not much. And that's because, why? Black people, Black women, especially Black trans women to the front, are the least protected in our society. All these intersections matter, and you can't do the whole class reduction thing because why? You know, I say this all the time, because class, the mechanisms of class are identity. If we use identity, well, not we, but the vulture class uses identity in order to do the class war. They use different markers of identity to different people, and us ignoring people that don't have our identity is how they do it. Why does Janet Jackson not get her fucking flowers for being the phenom that she is? Who can look? Also, not for nothing, if she showed a nipple, really, America, really, again, this is why sex positivity is one of the 12 values that we believe in on this show and in our group, right? Because sex positivity reminds us that people are sexual beings and are allowed to be, and it's not weird. There's nothing weird about it, okay? There's nothing weird about it. And nudity, the reason that we think that nudity is more wrong than genocide, think about that. Think about that, right? Just think about it.
I don't know who the fuck the tolerant left is, but it sure as shit ain't me. I am not a nice person, and I have slapped the shit out of people for far less than telling me that the people that I love shouldn't have basic human rights. Stop playing with me.
If we, and now I mean the relatively conscious whites and the relatively conscious blacks, who must, like lovers, insist on or create the consciousness of the others. We must not falter in our duty now, and if we are, we may be able, handful that we are, to end the racial nightmare and achieve our country and change the history of the world. If we do not now dare everything, the fulfillment of that prophecy, recreated from the Bible in songs by slaves, is upon us. God gave Noah the rainbow sign. No more water. The fire next time. Wow!
How those tables should be, need I remind flipped. But you're still squeezing camels through needles I rip. Rest in peace with robbers, all the neighborhood alms stripped. You forgot the red words of Beatitudes, not it. Transubstantiation, all the blood is the wine sipped. Now walking through the Holy Land, such a mind trip. Cognitive dissonance.
Right? I want to empower other people to be the artists that they are. We are not the way that we're taught to think of ourselves in a capitalist world is on the thing that makes us enough money to survive, which is often, though something we spend the most time doing because we have no choice. Hello. But something that's not like the central part of us, right? We have so many facets. We're so many different people. We do so many different things. So to basically go through your entire life and say like, oh yes, I'm a carpenter. Okay, well, sure. But, oh yeah, also, whenever you got home from work, you were a gamer, you were a musician, you were a baker, you were a potter, whatever it is, right? And don't just think of things like music or comedy or punditry or anything like that. Literally anything that you do could be something that we might want to share. I really love watching people, for example, like make things with their hands or like a process of, or like some strange Rube Goldberg creation that you've made. Maybe you've got something like that, whatever it is. We want to share it with the world because these talents that we have are meant to be shared. And I strongly believe that when Uranus in Gemini links up with Pluto in Aquarius, it is a trine that is going to help the world see just how important it is that we have the internet and we have electronic ways of connecting the zeitgeist that don't require physical presence. Because why? Because you can find your real people without having to knock door to door in your one little cul-de-sac, right? Keep this in mind. Now my information on this is as of, I think like 2019-ish. So maybe it's been changed a little bit, but 50%, more than 50% of the people in the United States of America live in suburbs. We think that cities have the most people, but cities are where there's a big concentration of people, certainly. But most Americans do not live in rural places or city places, but in suburbs, right? The isolation of suburbs is, that's going to be an entire other show because it's something that we really need to think about and undo. And suburbs need to be reimagined and re-envisioned because it is basically where most Americans live and why we have so many problems dealing with each other because there is no frictional experience. Suburbs are the worst. But anyway, these people in suburbs are so isolated even from their like next door neighbors. What makes us think that they're going to be able to find their people and organize locally, right? It's something that city people don't think about a lot because it's easy for me living in New York City where yes, in a 10 block radius, I probably can find 100, 1,000 people that I could actually organize with if there was a way for me to find them, right? But guess what? That way would still be the internet. So I don't know why we haven't gotten the message that the internet is so important. And remember, the right wing got this message a long time ago. One of the things in those Epstein files was that they turned a lot of online spaces into cesspools on purpose because they knew that that was a great way to warp the minds of Americans. And they've done so excellently. And it's about fucking time that we the people, we who believe in the 12 values, we who just believe in a better world, a better future, one that is livable and loving. It's about time we get that same message, right? And stop thinking that what we can see right in front of us is the only and most important thing or the way that we can actually do the most good. Because while yes, it is something that it's the thing that we will have to contend with at all times is what is right in front of us, right around us. It's not necessarily where we can have the most power. And what we need right now is to remember the other thing about fixed signs, Taurus is, notably is power. Taurus's sister sign is Scorpio. Don't forget. If you want to get absolutely smashed into cinders, you go ahead and get in between a conflict between a Scorpio and a Taurus. I don't care who you are. You don't want that. Believe me, you do not want that because it is the two kinds of crystallized power, right? Whether we're talking about intensity or just consistency, you combine those two things, it is a world you do not want to involve yourself in unless you are ready for a protracted engagement, right? But in this season of power, it's one of the two seasons of power, right? You have May 1st on one side and Samhain on the other side. You have Beltane and you have Samhain. These are the two high holy days of the year if you are a witch like me. And though they seem to be the opposite, they're essentially the same thing, just flipped, right? And it's about power.
Soft, with light breaks strutting like the fool and walks. The lovers and the cups at number 2. Somehow myopic me can see in polygraphic truth. A glint of recognition, you a shower close to you, too. And that's when I was through.
You say, can you get what?
Some headphones.
He say, can he get some head from you?
He said headphones.
Oh, I thought he said head from you. You said what?
Some headphones.
Oh.
Happy Monday, happy June, happy Pride Month, folks. This first week of the month isn't too busy in the skies. We do have a couple mental shifts with Mercury to look at, as well as a supportive Sun-Saturn sextile to help us out this week. Also, if you didn't get around to releasing a limiting belief over this past weekend's full moon in Sagittarius, you can still do that over the next couple weeks as the moon is waning and finishing up this lunar cycle, working with that diminishing type of energy. So just wanted to mention that in case you've been too busy this Gemini season to keep up with the magics you've been wanting to do. I also want to note that Mercury will enter its pre-retrograde shadow period in a couple weeks, so I'll speak more to that in a moment, but if there's anything you've been putting off, I recommend trying to get those little duckies in a row sooner rather than later. Okay, so early this morning, Monday, June 1st, Mercury left its home sign of Gemini and moved into Cancer. This is a calmer, quieter vibe that will hopefully take some of the edge off of that frenetic mental activity of Mercury and Gemini over the last couple weeks. I don't know about you all, but my mind has just been all over the place. So now our brains are going to turn a little bit more inward toward emotions and imagination, feelings and creativity, nurturing and care, home and family and roots. This is a good time for deep conversations with our close loved ones. It's a good time to journal and be creative with the tool of language. It's just a good time to slow down and check in with our hearts and our bodies as well as our minds. And as we orient more towards this care and compassion, we also have to feel and tend to all of the grief and rage and difficult emotions we carry around what's happening in our communities, our countries, and our collective world right now. So this is just a chance to kind of interrupt that constant onslaught of information and overstimulation, to reconnect with our hearts. And we'll have plenty of time to do that because Mercury is going to go retrograde in Cancer at the end of this month on the 29th. So it'll backtrack through this sign until late July and won't move out of Cancer into Leo until August, which is pretty slow for this speedy messenger of the gods. So that reflection of that retrograde is going to drive our minds even deeper. So we might as well just kind of settle into this energy for now. And if this is feeling familiar to you, you might be remembering Mercury's retrograde in the fellow water sign of Pisces back in February and March. Actually, all of the Mercury retrogrades this year are happening in water signs. So the assignment really is to make space for reflecting on and processing our feelings. So grab your tissues, stay hydrated, and maybe go hang out by a body of water if you can. That could be supportive. Also, just about an hour ago now, the moon moved into the mature, hardworking sign of Capricorn. Now, tomorrow, Tuesday, June 2nd, we have a transit with Saturn, Capricorn's ruling planet. The sun will be at 12 degrees of Gemini, forming a stimulating sextile over to Saturn at 12 degrees of Aries. This transit is great for taking all of our very many Gemini season ideas and prioritizing, structuring, focusing them into action. It's a reality check, but in a positive kind of way. This can help to stabilize your energy, your vitality, your sense of self. It can shed light on how much you've grown and matured since the last time you checked in. This transit can get us feeling more excited about our contributions and our roles in the collective. So Tuesday is a great day to work on developing something that's really important to you, to put in the blood, sweat, and tears, to make yourself proud with the effort that you're putting forth, to act with integrity and do the right thing, even if no one else is looking, right? My hope is that by the end of Tuesday, we're all feeling tired, but in a good way, and experiencing that Saturnian sense of fulfillment of a job well done. On a societal level, I have to say it's also possible that this transit could represent more nefarious collusion between authority figures, the sun, and oppressive structures, Saturn, because fucking when is that not happening these days? So it's not all sunshine and rainbows for sure, but this transit is supportive for us as individuals and communities to make progress toward our goals. So let's take advantage of that if we can. Now, Wednesday, June 3rd is the roughest patch this week because that evening we'll be experiencing a Mercury square to Neptune as Mercury races forward already to 4 degrees of Cancer and then contacts Neptune at 4 degrees of Aries. Now, we've seen several of these squares recently from Venus traveling through Cancer and squaring Neptune and Saturn in early Aries. Now it's Mercury's turn to do the same. And this is a transit of brain fog. It can have us feeling mentally scattered, confused, drained. It can confront us with illusions and delusions, very Neptunian stuff. It can tempt us toward escapism, avoidance, numbing out, spiritual bypassing, all things to be careful of here. This is another transit that can indicate blocked vision and creativity. Or for those of us who have more psychic and spiritual and energetic sensitivities, we might have some experiences or like dreams and nightmares that are on the more uncomfortable or even scary side of things. It's a time to really consider working with boundaries and, kind of shielding yourself if that's something that you need to do. Or we might just really be feeling that compassion fatigue, especially hard on this day. we might just be kind of like sad or tired or stuck or hopeless, like lost in that gulf between our individual experience and our collective needs. So Wednesday's a good day to take it a little bit easy, reorient a little bit towards self-care, balancing that out with the good work that we're doing for others, remembering that we're in this for the long haul. It's a marathon, not a sprint, and we need to find a sustainable balance of work and rest. So be gentle with your mental health, my friends. But thankfully, the rest of this week is pretty restful in the skies as we're processing and rebalancing here to get back in the swing of things. So on Thursday, June 4th, the moon will move along into revolutionary authentic Aquarius. There's nothing much to report on Friday, June 5th. On Saturday, June 6th, the moon continues on into dreamy spiritual Pisces. And then Sunday, June 7th is a pretty quiet day in the zodiac. So that is all for this week's astrological weather report. Sending you lots of queer joy and blessings. I'm Alice Pope. Logan, back to you.
There's nothing to be depressed about. There's no war in Ba Sing Se.
Word that you used?
Yeah, gavage?
Gavage?
Yeah, gavage.
Is it a French word?
Yeah?
It sounds like it. It sounds like it. It sounds like,
French.
you know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just doing a bit of gavage. Souvent pour de gavage, mais les ronds, oui.
Gavage. I don't know.
Yeah, we've exhausted my French as well, so you know,
Yeah,
that's okay.
all right. We'll just leave it at that. Yeah. And the fire pin cushion, of course, which is with some help, I built some torches that can also go into my flesh, and I can breathe off of them, which is probably my favorite things to do, I think.
And what is like the healing process or the healing time after a show? Also, can you put your mic just a little closer to your mouth area region?
I think this is it. Yeah. Cool. It really depends on what part of the body. Like right now, you can kind of see my forehead has got some holes in it. Forehead the face takes a little bit longer than other places to heal, I think. Or maybe it's just that I notice the holes a lot longer because I see them in the mirror every day.
It's true.
Takes about like fair. 2 weeks. Yeah. About 2 weeks. The arms, maybe a week and a half. The chest, probably about a week. It also depends on the size and like gauge of the needle or the hook. So like if I'm doing the 6 gauge shark hooks where I'm pulling my friend across the floor on the rolling bed of nails with my chest, that can take upwards of 2 weeks to heal.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Rewind that back. Pulling the what now with the where to the huh?
Yes. So, my pincushion mentor and I developed an act together where we have this. It's a dolly, and we put a bed of nails on top of that dolly, and then we put her on top of that bed of nails, and then we put shark hooks in our chests, and we chain them together, and then I just pull her across the stage.
My goodness. Are these so? What was your inspiration for becoming a danger artist, or was it just one day you woke up and were like, I'm just gonna keep trying to do things and not die?
Yeah.
Is that was that part of it, or like what was the inspiration?
I'm trying to think back how like it all kind of came to this, because now that I'm doing it, I know that it feels right. I was initially studying music and musical theater, and that didn't quite feel right. And then I got into doing aerial arts, and that was such a physically intense art form, and it helped me kind of reclaim at all my body in a way that I hadn't before. And I think I just kept looking for other art forms that really got me in touch with my physical being and made me feel okay about the body that I'm in. And so like things like, when you're sword swallowing, your sword literally touches your heart, and you actually have to touch your heart to kind of move it out of the way. And getting that in touch with myself on quite a literal level just felt very important to me.
I had to do a comedic fourth wall break at the very notion of moving one's heart aside to accommodate a sword. That is wild and extremely impressive. But more importantly, like getting in touch with the physical body in that. Like that. Tell us more about.
There's a house in New Orleans they call the rising sun, and it's been the ruin of many a poor boy. Dear God, I was one.
I'm not a doomer. I am a revolutionary optimist to my core. But that also means you got to start with the truth. And the truth is that just going out and feeling like you got to say something and like yell and shout about it and march about it, that is, I understand the reaction, but you aren't doing anything. We're going to have to be uncomfortable. We're going to have to do things that are different than we have done them before. We're going to have to cancel subscriptions. We're going to have to stop buying things. We're going to have to start sharing things with our neighbors. We're going to have to start doing buy nothing. We're going to have to actually shut the machine down. They're not going to stop at Gaza. And there will probably be reactions from other countries to what they're doing in Gaza. And when that happens, all of the lights and the switches on our tremendous military machine are going to get flipped. And the Death Star is going to start firing. And we're the ones working the levers on it. We're the ones who are giving the energy to it so that it can fire and destroy the next thing. Like it or not, that's the truth. If you want to help the people of Gaza, the people of Yemen, the people here in prisons, people here at our borders, we have to actually do something different and figure out how to shut this down, because they're not listening to us. They don't care about our votes. They don't care about our words. They don't care about our marches. They don't care. So if you do care, you'll need to find a different way to get involved. We all do.
I'm not smoking anymore. And I'm not smoking any less.
I know that's right. Big bag, listen, not the Bentley band, take a man.
I always say, I understand when black folks want nothing to do with white folks. I get it. I get it. It is not a choice that I would ever make, partially because I believe strongly in what both MLK and Malik Shabazz believed at the end of their lives, which is that there's no hope without us all. Without unity of the people against the oppressor, right? Like Fred Hampton said, you are not the pig, you are the people. And the pig is not just the cops, but everybody above the cops.
You might be doomed, But like I said before, apocalypse looks good on you. It looks good on me too.
X-ray specs. Now, here's one that maybe y'all don't know as well, but you should. And this was fronted by Polystyrene, was her name. And just like always happens, right? If you look at every genre of music, right, especially American music, there is usually an uncredited black person, uncredited black weirdo, usually uncredited black femme at the helm of it. You want to talk about one of the first punk albums of the punk movement? X-Ray Specs, right? Anti-capitalist, like to the core. And also she's considered to be like the progenitor of kind of like riot girl culture as well, even though she herself was like, I was more anti-capitalist than just purely feminist, but like there's that as well too. But the reason that she's said to be like, one of the progenitors of the riot girl movement is that she completely eschewed the beauty standards, right? And obviously being a biracial person, there's a lot of ways that she was never going to meet beauty standards of this world, right? Of this overculture. But also like, wore braces, and she said something to the effect of like, if they start trying to make me a sex symbol, I'm going to shave my head and do something wild. A wild person with a very, very distinctive voice. Here's the back. And this is, obviously they just did these with practical effects. They did not have any computer editing back then.
Nobody's talking about extermination.
No one ever talks about it. They just do it.
On the hook. Thank you very much. This one needs to be set as well. Now, we've got 2 on the hook and 1 dead already. Wasn't even... Well, yes, dead by daylight. Oh no, and that's the last one in the trap by the window, just like we thought. So we're gonna pick you up, and we're gonna get you downstairs too, so that you can be right next to your friends. Because I like to keep a group together, you know. There's no, it's nice to have all the friends together. Absolutely not. That's a good wiggle, but you're gonna still end up on the hook. And that is the game.
There's no need to be afraid of me. I don't bite.
Yeah, but do you stab?
I don't bite.
And welcome to the Focused on Infinity Hour, more or less. I am really feeling today a lot of things, but the number one thing I'm feeling is kind of a disappointment. And, you know, it's because we are doing the most heinous shit right now, this country. And a lot of people like to say, well, like, oh, no, it's not me. Like, you know, my country's doing it, whatever, but it's not me. Yes, it is you. Okay? If someone who is getting your tax money, is getting your energies, who basically you're providing them with the energy to continue doing what they're doing, and they're doing it in your name. They're doing it in our names. Right? What we are doing to Iran. The city of Tehran is a city of about 10 million people. It's like around the size or a little bit larger than the city in which I currently sit. And right now, they're having black rain, and it's oil. There is a mist of oil and other hydrocarbons that has been pulverized and atomized, and they are breathing it in because of bombs that we have been dropping on them. Right? There is an extent to which we have become so used to seeing this kind of stuff happen that we're kind of immune to it in a way. That shit should haunt you. It should haunt you. You should not be able to continue your life the exact same way that you were doing it before. You simply should not. And yes, the problem is that the mundanity of it all is that we still got to pay a bill. We still got to make lunch. The laundry still has to get done, right? The dishes still need to be washed. Yes. And that's how they fucking get you, right? We are complicit because of the way that they have entrapped us. It's one of the reasons that they give kids homework. Homework is not really to help learning that much more. Let's be honest. Right? Homework is so that kids get used to the idea that they're always on call, just like we are. We are always on call for this empire because that's how this empire wants us. Even those of us who are trying to divest from it, right? I always say, every time I turn on a light switch, I remind myself that I am complicit and I don't have any choice. Yes, there is no ethical consumption under capitalism. Yes, there is a way that we're all going to get got, right? But remembering that and being acutely aware of it and I don't know, ashamed, angered, saddened, something by it. Because it's escalating, right? I said we had entered a state of war. We actually literally went to war. And now it's just expanding. It's just increasing. And the people in charge of this country are not going to be like, we goofed. Let's just back out. It's too late. It's too late. We are at war. And we are the bad guys. That's the reality of the matter. And we got to start fucking acting like it. We have to act like we know what this moment is, what it means, who we are in it. Right?
It is about Nasir Jones, aka Nas. That is the Mr. Jones in Me and Mr. Jones. Now, they were just friends by all accounts. They only met once in person, though they did Skype and talk all the time. Like the two had a really strong connection. And one of the lyrics in it is Mr. Destiny 9 and 14. Destiny was the name of his daughter, and 9 and 14 was a reference to September 14th, which was the birthday that Amy Winehouse and Nas shared. So it's like, look it all up, don't take my word for it. I mean, why would I make this up? But also, like I say, you don't have to take my word for stuff. Like everything I say is something you can look up and find out that it's true. If you look don't go on like freedom.eagle. Uncle Jim, okay? Like, for real. Also, you don't even have to go on Google. Go on DuckDuckGo. I have not Googled anything, personally, in years. Haven't missed it. Anyway, yes, it's about Nas.
I wasn't flirting. I'm naturally adorable. If you have a problem with that, take it up with God.
And it's 79 degrees outside, but it's winter. And it's 30 degrees outside, but it's spring. And my friend has just allergies, but I'm so tired for the 4th time this year, which is up from the 3 times last year, and 2 the year before that. And the dish was covered in Dawn soap, and it slipped out of my hands and smashed. And all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put it together again because they're in the Epstein files. And they said they were eating baby intestines, but that can't be right. Right? Turn right on red. No right on red. Cross on the green, not in between. Am I drinking too little water or too much? Is my carbon footprint on the sand from where Jesus carried me? Or from when he abandoned me because his father abandoned him to die in the worst way so we could eat his flesh and drink his blood and be appalled when all the king's men are eating flesh and drinking blood? I really should get more vitamin B, okay? More D. See? CNN says we'll win across the board in the midterms, and never at any point did anyone say Humpty Dumpty was an egg. And maybe tomorrow I'll protest with them, but I'm just one person. And what did one person ever do? All you had to do. 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 All you had to do was pay us enough to live. Remember, all you had to do was pay us enough to live.
And if only there was somebody to blame. Oh, wait. There is.
So, you want to get rid of prisons? The market? The state? Well, what will you replace it with? See, the bad faith is in the question, which, in line with state thinking of centralized, singular, eternal solutions, imagines that every problem has one answer that can be generalized and applied in every situation. The answer for abolitionists and anarchists is that there could be a multitude of loosely networked, autonomous, community-based responses to problems instead of prisons and social organizations and collective care rather than the state. We improvise our solutions as events demand. And the things that work, we might try again with slight modifications. But we don't need to turn every action into an eternal law, or even into the way our modern law works through a paradox of rules and interpretations, all made throughout hierarchies. Similarly, we can look at our lives without trying to jam them into the contours of a neat narrative of development, professionalization, coupling, achievement, and success. Then death. When we judge ourselves against our perceptions of others, we lose the texture of daily life. All the parts that fall outside the contours, the edges. We forget that there is no right way to live, that we improvise life every day. Attempts and failures, connections and conflicts, joy and grief. Everything moves, and we move through it. Wow!
Hey darlings, so as you know, I do the harvest when hungry method rather than harvesting it all at the end so I can keep eating all season long. And so for today's omelet, I grabbed some dinosaur kale and some dandelion greens. Take a look at how big this kale is. And also for spices, of course, we got some basil, we got some oregano and some Cuban oregano. I'm not going to use all this, but I'm going to chop up the leaves and the oregano, and we've got everything. I'll just add a little bit of garlic and some eggs, and we're good to go.
Listen, all I'm saying is if I genuinely care about you and you cause me unnecessary trauma, somebody's getting hit with a truck. Now we're both healing.
Blackbird sing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you're only waiting for this moment to rise.
On the radio, Donna Summer Greatest Hits. Remember, some people don't like greatest hits albums. Me? Fucking love them. I love them. I love them. Why would you not want an album of all of the best shit by one of your favorite artists? I simply don't understand the logic. I think it's a purist thing. Anyway, if you don't know, Donna Summer is the fucking queen of disco. Okay? The late 70s absolutely belonged to her. I'm sure you know some of these songs. Right? We're talking about, well, it's called On the Radio because On the Radio was one of the big ones. Also, the one that you, listen, Love to Love You, Baby. Love to Love You, Baby. One of the hottest songs, like, ever. And it was like, listen, in the 70s, in the, you know, mid to late 70s on the dance floor, I bet when that song came on, everybody was full of cocaine and dreams, okay? So, I don't know. Something was going on that dance floor. That's all I'm saying.
So I came across this taco truck here with a curious name. I bet they don't have soft tacos.
Another one of the things that we do, which we're going to be doing more of, so stay tuned for announcements on that, is the Focused Forum, which is essentially just like a little learning annex, like classes that are taught by the people for the people. Because there's lots of us that have acquired skills, went to school for something that we don't get to use, have a hyperfixation because we are neurodivergent, and have a wealth of knowledge that we can share. And as we know, college system as it is right now, it's basically a scam, right? It's basically just to put you in debt for the rest of your life. And also, learning should be a continual process. It should be something that you do throughout your life. Do it because you enjoy learning, because you want to know more stuff, or because there are gaps in your knowledge, because the gods know we all have a lot of those because of the way the overculture has made those gaps in our knowledge. I will put a quick mention about McGraw-Hill and Ghislaine Maxwell's dad. If you haven't heard about this, please go look it up, and you will find that it really is all fucking connected. Badly, to our great detriment. It is the reason that so many things are the way that they are. But at any rate, in the Focus Forum, what we do is we have people teach classes, and the house doesn't take any money. We have people pay people directly or not, right? Because every class is free. Every class is offered for free, but you donate to the people teaching the class if you can. And if you have a couple of dollars to throw in the bucket for the house itself to keep our lights on, that's great too. Right? But the idea is that we don't need the existing systems in order to educate each other, to feed each other, to clothe each other, to entertain each other. All of this is part of the same plan, right? This show is an extension of the House of Infinity. The Focus Forum is an extension of that. Everything is connected. And also,
So I was waxing my roommate's asshole like a good roommate does, and I was.
Seems to me there's only two responses to that. One, I'm never having a roommate again. Two, I really need to get a roommate.
What separates you from the competition? What makes you special?
What competition?